Despite the name, the citric acid added to your food and cosmetics does not come from citrus fruit, or any fruit for that matter, and thus contains no vitamin C. In 1919, a process to make citric acid using the black mold, Aspergillus niger, was discovered, and this process is what's used today. Research has shown this preservative, citric acid, is problematic from production to consumption and is linked to a number of ill health conditions. If you glance at the ingredients in other packaged and processed foods, you'll often see citric acid listed. It's pretty ubiquitous in your food supply. In fact, citric acid is one of the most common food additives in the world. Despite the citrus-related name, citric acid harbours a dark side, and it's important to understand why citric acid is so prevalent in your food system. Citric acid's purpose is to act as a preservative. As the name suggests, it's acidic, and that allows citric acid to prevent the growth of bacteria, mold, and other harmful microbes in foods and beverages. In addition, citric acid is used as a flavouring agent to give food a bit of a tangy taste. For example, the acidic ingredient needed in particular cheeses, such as paneer. It's also used as a chelating agent to prevent food contamination from the metal in manufacturing machinery. For these reasons, manufacturers insert citric acid into a wide range of foods and beverages. It's found in ice cream, wine, and soft drinks, including popular brands such as Sprite and Pepsi. Citric acid is added to many cosmetics, cleaning products, and yes, bubble bath. You'll also see it in nutritional supplements to help with nutrient absorption. That said, approximately 70% of the citric acid produced today is used in the food industry. Citric acid was first discovered by chemist Carl Wilhelm Scheele in 1784, who extracted it from lemon juice. Citric acid exists in many other citrus fruits as well, hence the name, and it was originally mass-produced from lemons. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, designated citric acid with the label generally recognised as safe GRAS. This tells manufacturers it's okay to use citric acid in food. So given its GRAS status and fruit origin, citric acid has to be okay to consume, right? Sadly, the GRAS designation doesn't mean the FDA tested the food additive for safety. Although the 1958 Food Additives Amendment requires FDA approval for new food additives, it exempted any that were in use prior to 1958, which includes citric acid. But the real problem lies in how citric acid is produced today. Despite the name, the citric acid added to your food and cosmetics does not come from citrus fruit, or any fruit for that matter, and thus contains no vitamin C. In 1919, a process to make citric acid using the black mold, Aspergillus niger, was discovered, and this process is what's used today. After all, it's far cheaper to grow mold than to use citrus fruit. About 99% of the citric acid produced today comes from microbial processes, primarily using a mutated strain of Aspergillus niger. Because of its long history as a food additive and lack of evidence of harm, the FDA assumed this form of citric acid, referred to as manufactured citric acid, MCA, was safe for human consumption without scientific studies to back up the assumption. Research published in 2018 shows citric acid produced from Aspergillus niger is harmful to your health. The mold contains toxins such as ochratoxin A, which can cause kidney failure and other diseases, including cancer. Ochratoxin A damages your DNA, and scientists believe that's what kicks off the development of cancer. Ochratoxin A is so dangerous that the FDA monitors for it in our food supply. Another way manufactured citric acid hurts your health is by damaging your teeth. The acidic nature of citric acid eats away at tooth enamel. Combine citric acid's acidity with the sugar in soft drinks, and soda delivers a particularly potent 1-2 punch to your oral health. Because your mouth is filled with microorganisms, some beneficial and others harmful, sugary foods and drinks provide an energy source to the harmful microbes. This encourages the production of plaque, an acidic substance that erodes your teeth's enamel, causing tooth decay and gum disease. To get the Aspergillus niger mold to grow, it's fed sugar in the form of cornstarch, which is derived from corn. Over 90% of corn is genetically modified, meaning human intervention altered the DNA of natural corn to produce desired characteristics such as disease tolerance. Of course, the citric acid isn't your only exposure to corn, since it's widely used in the food supply. For instance, high fructose corn syrup, used in a wide variety of foods and beverages, is derived from corn and is known to cause fatty liver disease, a precursor to cirrhosis of the liver, as well as obesity and type 2 diabetes. Adding to this is that Aspergillus niger itself is genetically modified through the use of gamma radiation, which is dangerous to humans. Research studies show a number of potential impacts from genetically modified food, ranging from allergic reactions to toxicity exposure, and even contributing to increased cancer risk. With cancer rates rising, even for those under 50 years of age, it's best to do what you can to reduce this risk. Given how your body may respond to long-term exposure from MCA, the ideal solution is to avoid any food, beverage, or cosmetic containing citric acid. After all, your health is already subject to a substantial toxic load from various chemicals injected into foods, such as dyes, emulsifiers, and anti-caking agents. Do what you can to reduce your exposure by avoiding as many of these types of ingredients as possible. Citric acid is also added during the processing of meat, sprayed onto carcasses in an effort to improve food safety from pathogens. In this capacity, citric acid is considered a food processing aid, which the FDA allows manufacturers to leave off the list of ingredients. Therefore, you won't know if the meat you buy contains citric acid. One option that may not entirely eliminate your exposure to citric acid, but minimizes consumption of toxins found in factory farmed animals, is to opt for responsibly sourced meat, such as organic, grass-fed, and grass-finished beef. Consider avoiding packaged fruits and vegetables and prepared salads at the grocery store. To prevent these items from turning brown during transport to the store, plus the time spent lingering on the shelf, manufacturers spray the pre-packaged produce with citric acid, which is known to possess anti-browning attributes. Instead, go to a farmer's market to buy fresh, unprocessed organic food and be willing to ask vendors questions about sourcing. This can be a useful approach to reduce your citric acid exposure. The more you steer clear of packaged and processed foods, the greater your opportunity to keep MCA out of your diet.